Hello my lovelies, Shauna K here, and in this video I escaped upstairs in my bourgeois. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Sounds cool though. Skies are clear though. It makes you just want to stop and think about your life's choices and the stupid little bitches you let slide and get away with the shit when you really should have buried them. Took all the documentation you had. Anyway, so this video is going to be about not that. That's a story for another day. You may or may not know, but I have metal all in my neck. Beautiful scars that just keep going through that same entry point to go do surgery whenever I have neck fusions. I've had many, I have many more in my future. Probably will die related to something along my spine. It's inevitable. I've accepted that a lot in life. I might be bionic woman, maybe, if I'm lucky in my older age. Either or, I have a disease where my cartilage dissolves at a really fast pace, bringing my bone to bone quicker than the average person. So I need surgeries where they put spacers in between my joints. And so I've had fusions throughout my vertebrae. So they go through the same entry point, reopen the same scar. That being said, I also have fibromyalgia, so I have a lot of nerve damage from that. I have a lot of chronic pain that I live with. Never do I have a moment where I'm like, I have no pain. Like, oh my God, no pain. This is amazing. Like, never. I miss those days. So whenever I hear people bitch about, my God, my neck hurts, you won't find sympathy. I'm sorry. Like, go cry me a river somewhere else. And I know so many of you guys are in the same boat. That's why you guys follow me, because so many of us live with chronic illnesses that the world just cannot relate. And in a world where it's just like, woe is me, everyone's out to get me, it's like, and we still push on, push forward with so much against us, and we still move on. And many of us choose natural alternatives instead of the plethora of chemicals out there and prescriptions out there that doctors throw at us that just have horrible side effects and that do so much more additional damage than what we already have to live with. It's so hard to find solutions and to find alternatives that help our pain, to help our ailment and situations. But we still try, right? We still try to push forward. And so this video is going to be about all the things that I tried when it came to my nerve pain and nerve damage. And that's Gabapentin, Cymbalta, and Lyrica. I'm going to talk to you about what I think about those 3 prescriptions. I've tried them all for long periods of time at different stages, and all of them are absolutely horrible. Long term, short term, minimal. Obviously. Obviously it's to each their own. Some people do worse than others. This is just my experience on it. Some people have great things to say about it. Usually they've not been on it for very long. Others, they get addicted to it. I know Gabapentin is something that's been an addictive thing, which is weird to me. And but the majority to agree and relate to what I've been saying and thinking when I talk about these 3 different prescriptions. But ultimately, to get started, these things are usually prescribed to you when you have nerve damage or nerve pain. They're also at the same time kind of prescribed as SSRIs because they work on your nerve receptors, which again, it's all mental, right? Because your mind is all nerves, so it's all like pain. When you feel pain, it's all associated with your mind in a sense. So it's a pet peeve for me when doctors play and go down that road, because then many of them tend to belittle the pain and not take it as serious, or not realize that it's not just a mind thing. It's actual physical pain. You have to retrain those nerves. I've had nerves burnt off and they've had to regrow themselves. And the more you do that, the more you're retraining those nerves to get back to normal, where they're not delivering a painful signal. The more you'd have that procedure, which is a rhino, or I forgot what they call it. I'll put the word here. But I get this procedure done once a year. Really does help with the hardest part of my chronic pain. It takes the edge off, and this is the reason, one main reason I'm not disabled in my condition. because I have great insurance, thanks to my husband. Medically retired at 100% military disabled, so we get amazing military insurance for the rest of our lives, no matter what. So it's a huge blessing. So I don't have to worry about that. So I'm able to avoid having to get on disability or have that kind of issue. So as long as I'm able to get that procedure, it helps take the edge off and allow me to work and kind of live a normal life as much as possible. But that's a procedure a lot of people can't afford, a lot of people that the insurance companies might not cover. But for the majority of us, there's prescriptions like Cymbalta, Lyrica, and Gabapentin that numb your nerves. And when they numb your nerves, that could be scary, right? Because when you're numbing it, there's so many different side effects that can cause. So many different things that can happen when you do that. It's like you're playing with nature, with science, with your body. And I can see how that can turn into some pretty negative things. For me personally, I've had some pretty bad things on all three of those that I've had to stop. Damaging side effects that I still live with to this day. Cymbalta I was on for 13 months. Lyrica I was on for 9 months. That was probably the worst. Gabapentin I was on for almost 2 years. Lyrica was the worst by far, but they were all horrible when it came to numbing my emotions, which just created additional emotional issues in my life that was already hard when you have chronic pain. But more than anything else, it caused my short-term memory loss, which is one of the side effects of these medications. It affects your memory. But when you realize it's all working on your brain, it's all numbing your brain receptors, that you're fucking with your brain when you take this medicine. You're taking that risk when you take this medicine. And it is on this might happen list of things when you're about to take it. You know, when you watch those commercials, it's like, and they just speed right past it, hoping you won't catch it, like life-threatening, you might die type shit. That's legit. There's like lawsuits on this stuff, and they still prescribe it, even though there's so many people that have had issues because of it. Not only that, but you get all the things that you would get with your typical SSRIs. Your weight gain, your sexual dysfunction issues, your dizziness, your suicidal thoughts. You just get everything that you would get with an SSRI times 10. So if you thought being on SSRIs was bad, you might as well quadruple it if you're going to take some nerve medication. And I don't want to discourage it for people who truly need something to numb your nerve pains, because I can safely say that out of the three, Lyrica and Gabapentin probably did the best on numbing it. Cymbalta did very little to nothing. I would throw Cymbalta out the window. Total waste of my time. Did nothing but damage. Gabapentin comes in second. Weight gain galore. Very little emotions on Gabapentin. Very little sex drive. Lyrica was the worst. It did the most damage for my mind. So it came in first for the worst, but the best for numbing, which is so ironic. The best for numbing. I miss it because my pain was almost non-existent. It almost brings me to tears because those are your options. Here, be pain-free, but you must give up your life as you know it. No desire for your spouse. You will second-guess everything. You'll probably destroy your relationships. You'll be fat. You'll have short-term memory loss. You'll forget things. You'll probably die younger. Is it worth it to be pain-free if that's what you're giving up? Not to me. So I chose to return to a life of pure agony. I took the damage that it caused, and I returned to my pain. And it was hard. It was emotional. For someone who has the kind of pain that I have and found that kind of relief, but saw the damage it was doing, it was emotional. And those of you who know, you feel it. It's hard, but it was worth it. And it is so sad that there's something that's not out there that truly does its equal without the side effects. Now, I talk all day, every day about kratom and other alternatives, but the pain is still there because it's just a natural alternative. It's not something that people really think it is. It's not a drug that totally dopes you up and takes away the pain. It's not that way. It's like a subtle tea. It takes the edge off. It's all it does. Just like melatonin is not equal to freaking Lunesta. Those two don't compare. Just like kratom doesn't compare to gabapentin or morphine. You cannot compare the two. One is a natural, subtle, natural thing, and the other is a prescription strong-ass chemical. One's very mild, and the other is a very strong chemical. So it's not gonna do wonders, but it helps. And I'd rather have that any day of the week than the latter. And that's my experience. The last thing I'll add is you can't drink alcohol on these. Not even a lick of it, or you'll be an idiot. Like, stupid. Like, I say that lovingly. Seriously, I tried that one time, disclosure, and I blacked out. And it was just like a simple little cup of wine, and I couldn't even remember, like, anything that evening because of what it's doing to your mind. It just proved to me how strong those medications truly are when it comes to your brain and what it's doing to your brain. And obviously how alcohol is. And it even obviously warns you on the medication bottles, do not mix with alcohol. And they're definitely serious. Not even a lick of it. So when you really want to compare, is it worth it? I wouldn't say it's worth it for the majority of people. Now, if you truly can't handle pain and you have a very low tolerance to it, which the majority of people do, I've come to realize, and there's nothing wrong with that. It takes, a lot of people just can't handle pain. And that's fine. It's the risk you take, but just realize there's things that it's gonna cause. And the best advice I can give you is don't trust yourself. People will divorce on this shit, thinking that they really fell out of love with their spouse when they really didn't. And you have no idea how many people are on SSRIs making life-changing decisions, especially on this kind of shit, when it's not really them speaking. And it's like, are you serious? Like, the doctors need to step in and say, this is a possibility, so you need to be thinking that this is, to each their own. But they're powerful stuff. Not for everybody, but definitely some side effects that you should be aware of. This is just my experience on these things. I will never go back to them. There are so many natural alternatives out there to consider if nerve damage and chronic pain is something you deal with. So, best of luck to you all. Until next time, enjoy the view.